What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Sunshinery. Make sure to like and share this video.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. We are here for a Nick Viall Going Deeper podcast episode. Now, it was just a year ago that Mr. Scandoval himself with his bestie, Schwartz, were on Nick Viall's podcast. It is here on my channel, so if you did miss that, you could check that out here. But he is now back. He is not here with Schwartz this time. He is here with Miss Victoria Lee Robinson, his girlfriend, and it's going to be a podcast filled of just narcissism, craziness, oh, I love yous, and lots more. So let's not waste any time. Make sure to like this video if you have not done so yet. Subscribe to my channel. And make sure your notification bell is set to all so you can get notified every time I post a video or go live. I think I will be definitely covering the Valley here on my channel. So if you don't want to miss that, you want to have your notifications on. All right, let's get into this podcast episode.
You guys ready? Should we cheers first? Let's cheers.
Yes.
Tom.
Cheers.
Welcome back. Victoria,
Thank you.
welcome to the Viall Files.
Thanks for having me back.
Great to have you guys back. Cheers. Let's take a sip.
Yes.
This is Tom's.
Yes. It's called Tom's.
It's called Tom's. Tom's Good Lovin'. Brought
like-
to you by the good men of Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval.
Yes, it's a port blended bourbon.
Oh my God, it's strong.
Oh, it's 90 proof.
Wow.
It's a tiny sip.
It's good.
Right?
It's good.
It's
Nice
smooth,
enough.
right?
Yeah.
You feel like you taste the port finish on the end.
I gotta say, I'm not a connoisseur. It's very good though.
Thank you, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I'd absolutely drink it. I will absolutely drink it. I am absolutely drinking it. Tom, I'm really excited to have you here.
I was a little nervous coming back here.
Yeah, I would imagine. I honestly thought there was no way you would come back on the show.
It took some convincing on your part, and Dylan helped. Dylan Efron.
Thank
He
you.
definitely helped.
That was
To get it
we appreciate Dylan. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be surprised to see you here as well.
Good. We like surprises,
We
right?
do like surprises. Do you want to talk about the first episode at all?
Oh, man. That was a lot. I was going through a lot. Obviously, I was in a very different place in my life. And yeah, I mean, first off, I know that we had talked, like, it was my fault. Like, we had texted that we were,
I'm glad you acknowledged that.
no, it was fully.
I was actually there right before he showed up. Like,
Yeah.
I was with him.
You were. Oh, you were.
I was
you
with
guys were.
him.
You guys were dating then.
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
with him. He had no clue he had a
So
podcast.
what
And I actually asked him because he was full on bawling his eyes out right before he even saw you because he was talking to me about his friend
Yeah,
Ali.
you mentioned that. on
I'm
the
actually
show.
wearing Ali's shirt.
And we had a night. We had a long night.
Yeah.
And I asked him like the night before and I was like, do you have anything tomorrow? He goes, no, I'm good. And then all of a sudden call comes and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, this could not be more terrible.
What happened is I had a
He was
Google
going through
calendar with my manager, and we had set up a date for me to come in here. And then you had texted me like, I don't know, 5 days earlier to change the date, but you had texted me directly.
Mhm.
And so it didn't go on my Google calendar. But I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It was
okay.
my fault.
I did text you like several times. Just a
I was like,
reminder.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't know these things.
Listen, we're here now.
We're here
That's
now.
all that matters. It was quite the episode.
Was I the only person that was not aware that the boys made a alcohol together? That really surprised me, and not something I'm gonna buy ever. I'm sorry. I'm a JD girl. I love my Jack Daniels, and that's it, really. And I don't really drink. It's like a very rare occasion if I do drink, so I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna drink your shit, Scandoval. And there's Miss Victoria already. He was crying. He was so upset. Stick up for your man, girl. I get it. I stick up for my man, but if we gotta deal with this the whole episode, it's gonna be a long episode. But yes, a year ago, he was in a different state of mind, I guess you can say. Let's see if anything's changed. I personally don't think his mindset on the situation has changed very much. He still cannot apologize or take accountability for what he did. So, to me, that's no change. Anyways, let's keep going to see the difference in Tom Scandoval.
Yeah, it was. I had been up. We had gone out. I'd been up all night. You process grief at different
Sure.
times, and at that point, that was like one of the first times it like really hit me that like about my friend, you know, emotionally and mentally about everything with my friend Ali, who had passed away. And it just was like, I was just up all night, just like sobbing and like, just like talking about him. I was like really sad because obviously I was like, I really liked her and really wanted her to meet him and like just that whole, you know, just all of it.
That was the first time he ever poured his heart out, like ever even spoke about him to me.
Oh, really?
And so if you notice on your last podcast, his eyes are super puffy. It was just from crying.
Yeah.
You weren't
he was
inebriated at all?
Oh no, I mean,
he was drinking.
Okay,
Yeah,
he
for
was
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had both been drinking.
I
If I
wasn't
would have
sure.
known, I would have been like,
Oh,
no,
I
we're
mean, I
going to
would have
bed.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely.
How long was
forgot.
that? Wait, it's over a year ago.
Every
Yeah.
day.
So it was in January. I know that. You've come a long way.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I feel like I have. I actually wasn't even planning on drinking this week, but you're like, let's open the bottle. I was like, all right.
Okay. All right. How did you guys meet in the first place?
We met through a friend. It's kind of funny. My friend, she was like, "Oh, do you want to go to this show?" And I'm being honest. I looked at the phone on a YouTube.
Tom Sandoval in the
Most extras.
Most
yeah.
Extras?
And I'm
that
just being
show?
honest. I was like, "Do I really have to go to this? Like, come on," because
Thanks,
it was
babe.
just. I'm sorry.
Thanks, babe.
It wasn't the best video. It wasn't the best clip that they could have shown me. But then, I mean, I show up, I go there, and I swear I'm almost front row, just like, whoa! Like I'm like, it's so much better in person. First off, and then now I'm like, here I am. I don't have no idea how this happened.
So you
but
went to it. You're kind of like,
I
and I say this with love and kind of fun, but like you're kind of like
What?
a groupie. You
No,
know?
I didn't
No,
actually.
not, but like you went to a show and you met the star of the show.
My
Well, you know,
friend
it's-
actually liked him at the time. Don't worry.
you stole him.
No.
No, I'm
Did
not.
you?
I'm far from
When
that.
you went to the show, like,
Mhm.
and someone's like, "Let's go to the show," and it says Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras. Like, how aware of like, not that I'm not trying to get into Scandoval here, but how aware of Scandoval?
0%. 0%. Give me a
a
lie detector test. I don't care
No, I
who believes
believe
me, who does not. I had no clue. I mean, to be honest, like, be for real, like, he probably wishes that I knew about this scandal.
Yeah.
Beforehand, because I'm finding things out in real time. I'm going through my phone. My algorithm's fully changed.
Well, in
And
past tense.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, during the relationship, I'm looking over, I'm like, just giving a dirty look. And he's like, what did I do? And I'm like, you did what? Where? Are you fucking kidding me?
So for those that might not remember last episode of him doing the Viall Files with Nick, Sandoval was over an hour late to the episode because apparently he didn't realize that he had the podcast to do. So that's what they're talking about. And Victoria claiming that she didn't know anything about Scandoval until after she got with him, I call bullshit. Because it is. She very much knew about Vanderpump, and she very much knew about the situation. These are things she has admitted to previous, but yet, here we are. She's claiming that she never knew about it until the real time as it was happening, and she was dating Tom, that she was seeing these things. What do you guys think? Do you believe her when she says she didn't know, or do you think she knew and she's just making that claim? I know what she said in the past, but I want to know what you guys think. So let me know down below.
What if you would have known? What do you think that would have done?
I mean, I would have not thought the same about him whatsoever. Like, I got to know him not knowing anything and hearing his sides of whatever. And, like I said, I've definitely seen not so great things that, if anything, the nicest way I could say this, if I was the other girl, if I was his ex and there was a little secret camera, I definitely feel like I've been his karma. But
What do you mean by that?
Meaning, like, I've given him a lot of shit.
Tom.
Because
Okay.
I'm a girl and like I've never cheated in my entire life. I would never be a homewrecker. And I'm not for any of that.
Okay.
And I think he was matched with me for a reason because he has grown so much. I'm so proud of him. I really am. And,
Thanks, baby.
I think that he needed a little
She
tough.
kicks my ass. 'Cause it's like,
I
if
don't
she would've-
anymore.
If she
I had to
would
stop.
if she would have seen everything that happened, it's like time goes by, you get over it, you've been there, done that. But it's like, as I would have almost rather her have done that, had that happen, beforehand, because then it's like, we're getting deeper into the relationship and it's like, oh, she's seeing this, somebody sent her this, somebody tagged her in this, and it's like,
And it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, of
Like-
course. I
It must have
fully
been pretty
understand.
overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the person I'm fully in love with, and I'm like, just looking and I'm like, I can't.
How shortly after you go to the show, you meet him?
Yeah, I want to, because we kind of breezed over that.
Yeah.
So she came to the show, and then I had to leave right away because we were filming our finale. It was season 11 finale in San Francisco, Cal Chan's event. So I had to leave directly after that. I never even met her that night. And then cut to our premiere of
Vanderpump,
special
Special
forces.
Oh, okay.
So were you there? I'm trying to remember. Were you there at Craig's?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there,
Yeah.
right? Yes. Okay. So do you remember two girls coming up and
you were there? Oh wait.
with
I think
JoJo Siwa
after dinner we left.
pretty quickly?
Yeah.
So
immediately.
her and her friend came towards the end and they knocked on the door because she recognized me from
Well, like I said, my friend
no,
my friend liked him.
from the Most Extra show that she
Yeah,
went to.
yeah,
She
yeah.
was like, "Oh, that's that guy that you whatever." And so
That your friend was into.
So my friend had a crush on him. They didn't like really know each other or anything.
Did your friend know about?
No,
yeah.
she didn't know. No,
Oh, really?
her friend did.
Oh, okay.
And was telling her about it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So somebody's mom told another mutual friend. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So we were a group of 3 friends. She did not know about it. The other one's mom told the other girl, which told her. And I'm dating this other guy at the time. I'm not even paying attention. Like
Yeah.
I fully was dating another guy.
Like boyfriend and girlfriend, or just dating?
Just dating, but like we were dating. Like,
Okay.
so that night at Craig's, I was like, go say something. He's right there. He's just a normal person. Just say something. And then so I walked her over because I was trying to help her out, and
We all ended up hanging out afterwards. I don't know if you remember. I was like, "Hey, you guys want to go do like karaoke or something?"
I do remember something about karaoke being mentioned.
Yeah, and like JoJo was kind of into it. There was a
Yeah.
couple other people that were into it. I was like, "Do you want to come with us or meet us over there?" And we went to Saddle Ranch, and then nobody ended up showing up, so it was just the 3 of us. And so we hung out, and we ended up like hanging out, and like we had a great night. But it was pretty obvious like I wasn't into her friend, and I was not that I was into her or anything. I just was like, we're just having a good time. It's
Yeah.
very casual.
So wait, your friend had a crush on Sandoval, but didn't know what was going on? I kind of want to call bullshit there too, because obviously she knew who Tom Sandoval was. And if you know who Tom Sandoval was, and during that time, there was a lot of talk everywhere about it. It was a huge scandal, literally. So her saying that her friend had no clue, though she was really into him and she had a crush on him, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it. The stories do not line up already, and that right there makes it more not line up. The math ain't mathin', girl. I don't know. Let me know, guys. What do you think? Do you think that her friend knew about it? Do you think Victoria knew about it? I need to know. Let me know down below.
And then like months went by. Like we're talking like end of October.
well, you can rewind there. Like, so my friend tried to kiss him. Sorry. Tried to kiss him, and he just panicked and shoves like a candle of him and Schwartz. Like some, what was that?
Oh, there's these like church
He got so
candles
nervous.
that we have that are like Schwartz is Joseph and me is like baby Jesus in his
So like
arms with a trumpet.
sacrilegious. Yeah.
And
He
a
just
trumpet in his
panics and looks down and
hand.
goes, "You want a
They're
candle?"
like, I didn't make
Why
them.
did you have a
Somebody made-
candle with you?
Somebody made
Just
these
sitting
candles.
there.
We would sell them at Tom Tom because at the Tom Tom clock.
Okay.
It's a spoof candle.
Gotcha.
And so I just was like, oh, here, do you want a candle? And like, I don't know. I kind of panicked. I wasn't like, my mindset was not there. And
And then on the car on the way back home, because I was taking her home, I was like, "I don't think that he really likes you." And she's like, "No shit, he gave me a candle." And then she started dating another guy,
Okay.
and months went by. Then we hung out on Halloween,
yeah.
and on Halloween,
Or did you,
I
like,
broke it
and
off
you-
with
and-
my guy.
Okay. On.
That was a
Like
whole,
you were hanging out with Tom, you just call him up and be like, hey.
yeah, like
While you were hanging out with Tom, you
so.
ended it?
The first night we actually like really hung out. Like before then, and when me and the other girl and him would hang out, him and I would vibe more, like because we listen to the same music, and she listens completely different music, and I bond with people on music, like.
Mhm.
But it was more of like, whenever I have a girlfriend that likes a guy, I bro them out. I'm like, "What's up, dude?" Like, whatever. Like, I'm very respectful.
And we were
I
like
didn't think
that
of
for a
Tom like
long
that at
time.
all, like whatsoever. But I think like the music, like, getting to know him, like not hearing about all the stuff that he did in the past. Like, he's a good guy. Yeah.
And then months went by before we actually we were friends at first. So we hung out on Halloween.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. And then a while went by and then finally we slowly just kind of,
I got the okay. I was like, "Hey, is this weird?" And she was like, "No, not at all. I'm fully like in love with my boyfriend. Like, I don't care."
by that
I'm like,
point
"Are
it
you-"
probably been like 5 months.
So at
maybe.
what point did you find out about Scandoval? Like, was it before this?
So we started hanging out, and he's, he would get drunk, and because we would go out and stuff, and he would get drunk, and he would be in his feelings. And also, like, I started hanging out with him when all of these bombs started coming in. It's like once we started spending the night with each other or whatever, I'm like waking up like, what
People would
next?
talk
What
about it,
next?
too.
Oh my god, what's this morning? And I'm
That
like,
was very,
it's very heavy.
I was waking up daily to stuff. Like it just was,
yeah.
it was never ending. And yeah, it was rough, obviously.
So months go by and you still didn't know about Scandoval? Girl, the math ain't mathing. I don't get it. Or you just don't know how to do your homework on a man in a situation. I don't believe her. Oh my gosh, I don't believe her. It's hard. Especially because I've heard her say before, she knew exactly who he was, exactly what the situation was, and she got to know him and who he was and did not let that affect her. So what is it, Victoria? And as he says, it was a very tough time. It was every day, more and more stuff was coming out. How did she not see it? I don't believe her.
But
How did you, I mean, despite whatever your critics or whatever, but whether people think you deserved it or not, the hate that you received, the harassment that you received, like, how did you deal with that? Because it was heavy, man. It was.
At first I was drinking like crazy.
Okay.
And then I realized like this is even leading up to all of that, I was drinking all the time, like almost pretty much every day, all day. And just like constantly just numbing myself to my life and shit. And anyways, and then after that, it didn't stop. And then finally I was like, there's so many things that I can't help, like I can't help like all of these things, but there's certain things I can control. And so I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I just started working out and just like focusing on all the things that I could actually do that made me feel better. I started doing guided meditation. I was seeing a therapist, just kept busy. And honestly, like we had tour dates booked, like, from when this, like before this, all this broke, and I had to go out and do that. I look back at it as a very empowering moment and for myself, because I had to walk out with people that had scumbag and cheaters and one with a mustache and all this shit in the audience, wondering like what the fuck they're going to see when they like come out there, like why they're just here to witness whatever it is. The spectacle of it all. And I had to like go out there stone sober, look at these people in their fucking eyeballs and be a lead singer of a cover band. Like, it was like bungee jumping every show. But I'm so glad that I did it. I had people telling me, cancel it. If we would have canceled these shows, the band would have dissolved and it never would have, it would have been done. And I would not have gotten anywhere. But it was like, no, I need to like face it, go for it and do it. And I'm so glad that I did, because these people would show up wanting to like hate or bring signs or whatever. And then they would end up just having such a blast and like rocking out. And then like, as they're leaving, maybe like post a quick video of them being like, yeah, fuck you, Sandoval. Yeah, you suck. But like they actually had a great time. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
They're like, for the record, we did not have fun here. Okay.
I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen so many times where they'll be like jumping up in the air, like, take my phone, please. Fuck this guy.
For different reasons. When I was the villain on The Bachelor, I definitely had people who like asked for a selfie, were super nice, and then would like go online and talk shit.
Yeah.
I do want to point out for any potential haters and trolls out there, they love a timeline. You said Special Forces premiere, and technically it wasn't the premiere, because I don't want people to be like, oh, you Halloween. I think because it premiered. I forgot when it premiered, but that was the day the cast got together for the first time.
It was like the press.
Yeah, it was like the press junket for it. So that was before the premiere. So I don't,
okay.
I don't know. I don't want people to
call
you guys out on timelines if all of a sudden it was like, oh, that was
good.
Before,
I'm good.
I don't, just,
yeah, no.
I just want to protect you guys in that department.
Oh, Nick, you're such a good friend, making sure that the timeline is correct. It's not the premiere, it's the press before the premiere. We got it. I mean, listen, the timeline is the timeline, and we already know that Scandoval never gets his story straight anyways, but thank you, Nick, for clarifying that for him. And the main problem that everyone was having with Tom at that time wasn't the fact of, it was what he did, but also the fact that he wasn't taking accountability for his actions. He was still sitting there, going on podcasts, doing things, interviews, saying that, well, if Ariana didn't do this, or how didn't Ariana know, or she should have known this was going on, blaming it on the victim, when really he should have been taking accountability, saying, I was wrong for what I did. I should have never cheated on my girlfriend of 9 years. I should have ended it. I should have never got with her best friend. He never took accountability for it. And if he even tried to apologize, there was always a but and blamed her. always, still to this day, we have not gotten what we wanted from Scandoval, and it's why he's in the position he's still in. I still feel like nothing's changed, but we still have more of this podcast to go through, so let's continue.
So what was that like for you? I know you heard about Scandoval. The world hates him. Everyone's just like, don't date this guy. I have said things,
You said a lot.
I've said a lot. We talk about reality TV on this show. I've spent a week with Tom on Special Forces.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting time. Like everyone else, he was like America's #1 villain. And I had no idea about Tom. And like everyone on that cast, everyone bonded. And it was just
Wait, you had no idea about me?
No.
Oh.
Not the person.
I
knew Scandoval. I knew about you as the character, but I never met you. And and we always say that, like when we talk about people on TV, it's just like there's an edit. Like we don't know these people. Like I'm definitely allow myself to be wrong about my opinions that I say on the show. If I have never met him in person, like I definitely don't always believe the edit, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by that. But
Okay.
Since then, like I got to know Tom a little bit, as for his strengths and his weaknesses and things like that. Forgot where I was going with this, but yeah. Well, I guess the point is just like
I'm glad you can say that because that happens with me sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
you get long-winded. But I guess, and I've said this on the show multiple times. Like, I say like Tom. I'm very critical of. I don't even know if you're friends with him, Jax Taylor.
Yeah,
and I've said this on the show, so I'll say it to your face. I'll say the difference between Jax Taylor and Tom Sandoval is I think Tom actually wants to be a good person, whether you think he is or not, whether you agree with his moral compass or not. I think there's a sincere effort where I don't think Jax Taylor gives a shit. I honestly don't know if there's a human being inside there.
Oh, there's definitely a human being. And I know, look, me and Jax are very different people, but there is a human being in there.
Yeah.
He's just a different kind of dude. But I do understand why you would think that. I understand why you would think that.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I know better than you. I know him a little bit, but I know you better. And like for example, like when I say I don't think we have the same moral compass. Like I think there's no one does to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But you have different rules, and I have different rules. We all have different rules and boundaries, whatever. But I think a lot of criticism. This is back to my direct question for Victoria. I think most people, even if they were like meeting Tom and they would say, you know what, I don't know. It's like I met him. It's not a bad guy, but like, I don't know if I let him date my sister type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, sure. I'll hang out with the guy. He's a good hang. He's a good friend, but I don't know if I wouldn't introduce him to my sister or a friend that's a girl. And so I'm sure you heard stuff like that.
Oh.
How did you process that? And, how much did you kind of, we've all been the person who wants to change someone, that wants to fix someone, that wants to be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe they were bad before me, but I will turn them around.
Fix them.
Like, how did you wrestle with those criticisms, those voices, maybe those even internal thoughts? Like, how did you deal with that and kind of get through that so that your relationship could have a fair shot?
Well, we've both been in therapy, and I've obviously had to talk to my therapist about this.
Okay.
And because it is hard. It's really hard, like going online and hearing people thinking that I'm some dumb, naive girl, or that I'm trying to be on the show, or whatever else. I've heard it all. Or just like...
Yeah, I think generally speaking, the internet just assumed you had alternative motives.
We got into therapy very early on in our...
It's a couple?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I
Couples
wanted it to
and
develop
individual.
good.
Because I was like, hey, we should do... Because I was like, we really love each other. So, and my mom actually suggested this. She was like, you guys should start therapy now to kind of prevent anything in the future, And I was like, that's a really good idea.
Now, before you develop bad habits for a long time, and then you have to unlearn those bad habits.
And going back to where I was saying, me seeing something online and giving him a little shit, I can't do that forever. I can't hang on to that. I can't always do that. I gotta let him grow, and that's me doing that is gonna stop that. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, totally. It's a total defense mechanism, right? It's
it's
you kind of making sure.
She
scared.
fucking checks me, dog.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, like if anyone we've all given people second chances, right? Friends, people we're in relationships with, strangers, people, a second chance for you would have been like you met this guy, then you find out, oh my God, the internet hates him, he cheated on his ex-girlfriend, yada, yada. I'm assuming you're saying, you're probably giving him shit because it's like, I don't know, you barely know the guy. It's a new relationship. And you probably, if you weren't at least one eye open, so to speak, that would have been kind of foolish on your part, right? You were taking a risk on a guy that maybe, well, it was a risk, right?
And now I fully know. Yeah. Now I'm like, okay, well, now I'm fully in it. He's my pain in the ass. Now I'm like, all right, this is my pain in the ass. I can deal with it. I got it.
Therapy is always a great thing, so I'm glad to hear that they did couples therapy, especially right on. It's not because they had issues. It was to help work out the emotions of everything happening and making sure they have a stable relationship for the future. Therapy is like just having that good friend that you can talk to and get some really solid advice and be able to handle issues head on as they're happening right then and there. I still don't believe her that she found out after the fact. I have a feeling from what she has said that she definitely knew about the situation and she just gave him a shot. It's not that hard to say or admit to, but that's the way she's going with this, so that's the way she's going with it. And what is giving him shit gonna do? I mean, if anything, that's gonna make him more irritated that you're giving him shit about something that happened in his past. You're lucky that didn't backfire, but he also deserved it in the same sense. I understand where she's coming from, especially being scared. Like, you cheated on your last girlfriend of 9 years with her best friend. I mean, those are red flags. And, you know, maybe giving him a little shit did help, but it's also not also good for relationships because sometimes giving someone shit for their past doesn't make it very much them wanting to be with you, if you know what I mean. It's hard to explain, but giving them shit can lead to them feeling resentment towards them holding on to something that wasn't even about them. But let's continue and see what else they have to say about this.
So can I ask you, Tom, what are some bad habits that you've been able to unlearn?
I can just tell you that the way I approach relationships is completely different than what it's been in my entire previous of my life. And one thing about everything that I went through and put myself through in the situation I put myself in is that I have to put myself and get myself to a position where I feel like I deserve somebody like her. And, you know, there's all these people that are like, oh, I'm going to fix him. I'm going to fix him. It's not about her fixing me. I mean, obviously, I'm all ears and I listen to her and when things bother her, because sometimes they're just old, like stupid, nonchalant things that you don't really think about that affect a relationship. But it really comes down to the person. It comes down to me wanting to, you know, earn her love and wanting to be the best I can be, and also feeling like in a sense of really guilty in the way that I've been in the past and wanting to be a better person and being really motivated to do so. And a lot of the things that I've, you know, changed in my life is like, I don't go out like drinking anymore, like the way that I used to. I'm not out all the time, like to all hours of the night. I don't do that shit. Also, like, you know, it's been frustrating to me that like the shit that she has to do, I feel very guilty about it. The shit that she constantly has to deal with because of me and because of my fuck up and my mistakes and bad choices. And I don't like to say mistakes, by the way. I like to say bad choices because mistakes is like accidentally getting into a car accident. Bad choices is ownership. And I have to take ownership of what I did.
It's like a new Tom.
I'm just saying that, like, I do feel bad about the shit that she has to deal with. It's not fair to her. But I also just want to say, like, if people could just please be respectful of my girlfriend and our relationship and our committed relationship. I'm in a committed, loving, awesome relationship. Like, this is my person. And, you know, girls can be a little like whatever, disrespectful. And I just want people to like, please respect my relationship and where I'm at in my life. Like, I'm serious about where I'm going, what I want to do, our future. We have goals, we have things we want to do together, and I'm all about it. And I'm 100% in.
I think that a part of the reason why so many women feel that they could so easily like disrespect me, like let's say we're at a show or something, girls will like come up and just try to like be all over him or like try to kiss him or like whatever. Like, and I'm just sitting right there and I'm like
they know it.
And I'm like,
they know I'm right there.
And she gets pissed.
They
Rightly
don't.
so.
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do. But I think that's coming from of what he did in his past. Like if I weren't his girlfriend, you know, and knowing everything that happened in the past, I'd look at him like, oh, well, he'd do it again, you know? So
Sure, yeah, they're all trying to bait him, I'm sure.
Yeah. Like
I had somebody DM me literally like
it's not
very
like that.
recently saying like, hey, can you come to my wedding? I have lots of hot friends. Like, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me with that shit?
Wait a second. Tom, do you realize what you put yourself through in past relationships was the reason you got the outcome that you did? You and Kristen were diabolical together. You both cheated on each other. Ariana never did anything to you. She only praised you. She did everything that you wanted, and she complimented you. She was worth a lot to you. I believe that she was also somebody that maybe you could say you didn't deserve. Now, Victoria believing that she's saving him, I don't believe that's necessarily what's going on. And then him also just saying that he doesn't go out anymore. I hate to say it, but you're getting older, Tom. It's not so fun hanging out at the bar every single night and partying like you used to. I'm getting old too. I don't enjoy doing that either. I like hanging out with my man and spending time with him. And yes, we do go out to concerts and have fun and do things like that. But I'm not going down to the club every Friday and Saturday night like I did in my 20s. That just doesn't happen. And I don't agree with women trying to hit on Sandoval in front of Victoria, like purposely doing it to hurt her, especially knowing that he's in a relationship. But I also understand he's kind of a D-list celebrity. So, you know, they're going to probably shoot their shot. I don't think it's necessarily because of how he's been in his past, but just crazy bitches being crazy bitches. And I'm being honest there. There are some crazy bitches in this world that will throw themselves at any guy, especially a celebrity, even a D-lister, to try to get their attention. And if he allows that to happen, that's on him. If he, you know, he does the okay, you're a fan, hi, how are you? You know, it's nice to them, but then says, like, listen, I got a girlfriend. That's the right thing to do. Yes, it's not right that they're doing this in front of Victoria, and maybe they don't realize she's there. But Victoria, you're a big girl too. If that was my man and like he was a celebrity kind of thing and was in a band, I would make it known to those bitches, and I'm saying bitches, that he's mine. Nobody else's. Girl, stand up for yourself. That's your man. Tell those bitches what is up. Tell them that that's your man. But anyways, let's keep going.
But
Like-
you're a very hot guy. You're beautiful.
You're a fucking beautiful
Okay,
girl. Like,
calm
come
down.
get the fuck out of here.
Calm down.
Look who's talking.
But
I
that's
can
not.
leave.
Well, you know, we'll tell you some stories.
I'm just
Or watch,
saying.
you know?
I love.
Oh, I think you like door number 2.
What was I even saying, guys?
Sorry, Victoria.
Yeah,
No,
this
it-
tells you how much I've drank. I literally had like a
Oh
sip
yeah,
of whiskey.
he'll have one drink now because I have this rule. I'm like, no drinking before podcast. No drinking before like carpets or this or that because it actually goes to his face, like to where like
No,
yes.
just fucking with you.
Do you remember the line, I wouldn't cheat that way?
Is that from a country song or what?
That was from, well, I think we did make it into a song. It was on this podcast.
Oh God, are you cherry picking things?
No, listen, I'm really impressed with the, I don't like to call it mistakes. I like to call it bad
Well,
choices.
yeah, mistakes is not taking ownership.
That was like,
Mistakes is
that's
car
a
accident.
360 degree, like different person than the person that was here on this podcast last time. But the reason I wanted to ask you that is because, you know, on Special Forces, when we talked about the whole situation and why I think that whole thing kind of went as long as it did and perpetuated. And it kind of felt like every time, whether it was this podcast or Howie's or whatever, you just got like more and more heat, right? And a lot of it was, you know, and I get it. Like you were just,
His
whether you were trying to
response.
explain yourself or other people thought you were justifying yourself. And that's what's so different about the mistakes versus bad choices is like you were talking about how clearly whatever was going on in that past relationship, you felt like your needs weren't being met.
I don't think either one of ours. were.
Sure. But like it felt like a lot of people were saying like when you were talking that way, people were taking it as you kind of making excuses, right? So when we were talking, I remember at Special Forces and I was asking you, can you at least say like, well, I would never do this again? And you were like kind of resistant to saying
The
that.
reason why I was resistant to you, Nick, is because you came in all Dr. Phil, and I was warned about you going into Special Forces.
By who?
By my publicist.
Okay.
I was
This
warned.
one?
No, different publicist. I was warned about you. Like, I was told that you were gonna that you had talked a lot of shit, like dragged me. Okay.
That's true.
And that you were gonna take he's like, just wait. He's gonna try to take the opportunity to Dr. Phil you. And the reason why I wouldn't make that commitment is because you wanted me to make a vow to you.
Vow, no.
No, you said that. You
No,
literally
I did not.
said.
I didn't say make a vow to me.
Yes, you did. You said make a promise to me,
Okay.
Nick Viall, to never cheat again. And I'm like, dude, I'm not making any sort of like vow to you, Nick.
Okay, agree to disagree. But that's not really
that's
the
what
point.
you asked me to make a vow to you,
All right.
dude.
All right, fair enough.
Why would Nick make Tom vow to him that he would never do that again. That to me makes no sense. I think that's just Tom being Tom, and as Nick says, we can agree to disagree. I love that Nick calls him out on him saying that I wouldn't cheat that way. Because you did say it, Tom. And you did cheat that way. You're kind of grimy when it comes to cheating on your significant other, which is not the first time or the second time. It's multiple times. But it is what it is. Nick thinks that he sees a 360-degree difference in Tom. I still don't. I'll give him like maybe 10%. Maybe 10%. A little bit of a difference. But still think that he's very manipulative and trying to manipulate the situation and people's feelings with how they feel about him and thinking that he's a good guy when he's literally the same Scandoval he's always been. Let's continue though.
But I'm just saying, like, with you guys are in couples therapy and all these things, right? And I guess I'm just curious, is like, have you guys talked about, like, your relationship's relatively young, still very, I mean, it's been a year or so. You guys clearly are connecting, clearly in love. Like, have you guys talked about when things get bumpy or rocky, how are you going to communicate with each other, right?
Yeah.
And work through things so it doesn't get to a point where, not to, again, relitigate the past or anything like that, that like clearly you two were just like disconnected. What do you guys learned in therapy to allow yourselves to be a different relationship than the relationship you had in the past?
Well, from what I've heard and like seen on the internet and stuff, like they didn't have the same, wants and, with each other. But I told him, I'm like, don't waste my time. If you ever want to, go elsewhere, if you ever want to break up, just break up with me. And if you're not happy with something, I'm like, do we want kids? Like, well, do you want kids? And then, okay, how many do you want? But we have to be on the same page on everything. I'm like, don't waste my time.
16 kids.
I know, Tom, you definitely want kids, right?
16 of them.
You want 16?
No, he
No,
does
I'm
not
kidding.
want 16.
But
That is
you
not
want-
happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not popping out 16 kids, but I'm going to pop out 2.
You want kids.
Whether, with our, I don't want to go too much in the previous relationship, but there was a major disconnect.
Sure.
There was a massive disconnect, and it felt more of like a business partnership than anything. But either way, whether that was the case or not, the way I fucking handled it was absolutely atrocious. And
Thank you.
And it doesn't fucking matter. And I will never, ever, again, like, I feel like I've been there, done that. Like, I'd never been in a relationship that long. I'd never, like, as soon as we started dating, everybody's like, when are you going to put a ring on? It was like immediately we were pushed together,
Sure.
which was great in the beginning. But as time went on, the differences in us really started to shine. And instead of us working on it, we just sort of kind of drifted away. And it was just something like, which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It became a comfort thing. She was still like,
Yeah, I mean, the relationship's over. Yeah.
yeah,
but,
it's done.
How do you guys help each other in general?
Oh, she helps me all the time. We
Sure, but
help
like,
each
yeah.
other, like, do the thing.
Because I'm, again, like, I'm not to compare,
Like,
right?
in what
this is
way?
relatively new, and that, that was,
It
but like,
feels
it
like-
felt like you, right or wrong, it felt like in the past you felt less taken care of, that you seem to feel taken care of now. And what for you is the difference?
I don't want to say less. I don't want to make it like a taking care of thing, like it's all about my needs and all that stuff. I don't want to make it like
Listen,
that. We were just
every
more
relationship, you need to
independent.
take care of each other,
I-
right?
yes.
You need to connect. You
Yes.
you need to take care of each other. That's
Yes.
and for different reasons, and good times and bad, you need to.
But when I first met him, it was a shit show. He was so insecure. He felt so beat down. I mean, the world was going after him and everything. This man is so different now compared to when I first met him. The insecurity, like, he's so beautiful. Like,
oh, baby.
that like, even just so many different ways, you were just so insecure, and now you feel like you're more yourself. You know yourself more. I do think that being with me, I'm so sorry to mention it again, but like, me telling you, like, hey, this isn't cool, like, and then I would soften up and I'd be like, would you do these things again?
No, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
You think you see one thing, you get told another. It must be confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know too that, like, because of my past and what I've done, like, there's different rules with me now, and that's something that I have to live with, and I do live with that, and I understand that, and I accept that.
Well, in any relationship, communication is key. And if you don't communicate with your partner, you're not going to always be on the same page. And that's what's going to make the relationship not go in a good direction. Now, Tom said that he is never going to do this again, and that when him and Ariana started dating, that people immediately were like, when are you going to put a ring on our finger? I don't personally remember that being a thing or something that happened. I do feel like they were kind of pushed together a little bit, considering that, like, he cheated on Kristen with Ariana, and they were already in that over the friend zone kind of relationship. He also said that they didn't work on their relationship, which I feel like, if anything, Ariana tried, and he was the one who didn't, especially with the counseling at the very end of their relationship. He was already cheating on her, and he used the counseling as a way to kind of ease into a breakup with her, not to actually make it work, where she was led to believe that he wanted it to work out and have a better relationship with her, and come to find out he wanted the therapist more to ease the breakup, which he ended up never breaking up with her. He ended up just keep leading her on and cheating on her, and her having to find out the hard way. I don't get Tom's theories, but you know, that it is what it is. And when Victoria met him, yes, he was a shit show. He's been a shit show for a long time. I don't see where he was beaten down and insecure, because if you know anything about Tom, Tom is so confident. He brags about his confidence. He brags and boasts about who he is and how good he looks and all of that. Yes, he was beaten down from his own actions and what people did not like about what he did, and that, yes, hits a toll on somebody, but he did that to himself, and he kept prolonging how people felt about him because he would not take responsibility for his actions, and still to this day has not. So it is what it is. And what did I say about the lovey-dovey doo-doo shit? We were gonna get it. Here she is. He's so beautiful. He's so different than the man that I met. I just love him. He has different rules now because of the past. Like, girl, we know you love your man, but this is not like... I can't do that with her. I can't. I just can't with Victoria. But anyways, let's keep going, guys.
You know, I understand that, you know, on a normal, like normal people, you know, that haven't done what I've done, like they can have more freedoms, more things. But like as somebody who's done what I've done, like it takes time. It takes time. And I get that.
Well, in another, I mean, it is kind of, it is ridiculous. And you've said this and I'll say it, but like, and it doesn't make it okay. But like,
no,
you know, the internet acted like you invented infidelity, you know, and it's a sad reality of relationships. And and I think that's what's fascinating about Scandoval, because so many people were trying to like understand why it blew up the way it did. As if
it's still somewhat of a mystery, but it's somewhat, I understand.
Yeah, you became the poster child of that, you know, probably unfairly so, but it probably was a good lesson. And it seems like as difficult as it was, let me ask you this. Do you feel, as shitty as that period was, that like you're better for it? And would you trade that whole experience given what progress you seem to have made since?
Well, it's really, look, obviously if I could go back and change, I would change
much. I'm not saying, I wouldn't do it, you know, and I don't want people to throw that in your face. I'm just saying.
Meeting her and being with her, it's like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? And so it definitely gave me a swift kick in the ass. You know what I mean? In so many ways. It was a real eye opener and a real, true, like hard knocks learning experience. And it definitely toughened me up in a lot of ways, and it gives you a hardcore reality check. You also get to see like how, you know, when they call like what I'm doing, being on a reality show, a double-edged sword, you see that double-edged sword. You see that one side sometimes a lot bigger than the other. But, you know, it's been cool too, like, you know, with moving on, seeing like going and doing something like Traitors, you know, and Special Forces, and then going to do Traitors, and just like, you know, coming back from something like that and moving on and moving to the future, like how, you know, it becomes exciting to like, you know, go from down here to like keep, you know what I'm saying? Like keep moving forward and keep going ahead and seeing new challenges and seeing like light at the end of the tunnel slowly get brighter and brighter and brighter. And that's been really amazing, especially with her and just in experiences in life, you know?
Were you surprised, you know, as your time on Traitors kept going and you were still there, and you know, obviously,
I was shocked
that people were just, you know, and some, you know, you could see it online. People were just like begrudgingly being like, "Oh, fucking Tom," you know, like that must have felt good.
Yeah, it did. It did actually. Whether they were laughing with me or at me, I know they were fucking laughing.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, people were begrudgingly like rooting for you. There's a lot of like,
yeah,
you know, if nothing else, people were glad you were on their television. You know, they could at least acknowledge they enjoyed watching you, and that, like I said, that must
Did you watch it?
Traitors?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every
How good
episode.
was the doll challenge? How's
It was the best. I was laughing my ass off.
I like
it
the
was
insect
hilarious.
It was
moment
so
too.
funny.
I love like Dylan's response to the insect challenges. They're like just like pouring on me. That was the
You would
one
have been the
thing.
same. I would have been the same as you.
Oh my god, it's fucking
Oh, that
I
was
was very
stupid.
envious of Dylan's ability to like truly not give a fuck, and I could have gotten through it.
You
but
could have gotten through
I would
it.
have been like Tom.
It
where
just sucked.
I would have, I muscled through the whole thing.
As soon as I realized like I got all these things going to crawl on my hands, I was like, why do I need to see that? I'm just not gonna look. And I literally imagined like little soft little ducklings and like cute little things crawling on my hands.
Mm.
But I'll tell you what was so gross is like you got these crickets and you got these freaking like cockroaches on you, and you have like a snake wrapping around your neck, and they're crushing these cockroaches and crickets and things on your neck, and they're like biting because they're like grasping for life. You know what I'm saying? Like it was really gross. And then finding like larvae and all that larvae or whatever like in your pockets like later, and just that was the one thing that I was like really not looking forward to. Like I don't know if you remember like Fear Factor. It's like I gotta do all the other stuff, but like when they start eating stuff like that,
It's
like
not for me.
no way.
I would hope cheating on your girlfriend of 9 years with her best friend and getting the backlash that you did because you were not sorry for your action was a kick in the ass. Because honestly, you needed it, Sandoval. And yes, in our lives, if we go back and change things, if we could, it would be nice. But as I say, I wouldn't want to, because the events and situations and things that I've been through, bad and good, have made me who I am and made me the strong person that I have become from it all. I can only hope for Tom he can feel the same way and learn and grow from his mistakes and actions. And I'll say this, I was hoping from the start that Tom would go home from the beginning of Traitors, but with all the memes and his stupidity and just the insane theories that he would make up, it was entertaining in the sense that we did have someone to laugh at and be like, what a complete moron. It was fun to laugh at his thousands of theories on who he thought was a traitor and his performances that he put on, especially the singing in the shack with the dolls. I think that was hilarious, like Nick said. And I'll say this, I'm damn happy he didn't win. And for him to think that it was a redemption for him, he's off there. And people don't like him as much as he may have thought or think that they have liked him. And if he's not seeing their comments about him after the show has ended and like the podcast that they're doing, then he's blinded, because they all thought he was a little bit in outer space, we'll say.
Do you think that the singing in the telephone challenge was going to be as hysterical as it was for us?
I had no idea. I actually doing it, I was like, this is so stupid. Like I thought it was going to be boring and stupid. I didn't think like everybody's just like, we're exhausted most of the time. Like I was running off no sleep and coffee, and you get there and you could tell when they said this, even myself included, you're looking at this, you go, okay, so you got to listen to dolls and sing what they're saying backwards into a phone so like they can play it forward. Everybody kind of collectively was like, oh no, somebody else go. Like, oh no, like nobody fucking wanted to do that at all.
And you're like, I'm Tam Sandoval, the most extras. I can do this.
I was like, I'll do it because apparently nobody else here is musically. They're like, I don't know. It's like asking them to speak another language, which it felt like another language, honestly.
Did it feel like a bit of a relief for you to see positive things online for Tom?
I loved it, of course. I loved it. He's my baby. I'm very, very happy.
She was like,
of course. Because now that I know everything, I'm always like, he doesn't look at anything on the internet. I'm always the one that's telling him stuff now.
yeah,
Because before
I
it was so brutal and so negative that like you don't want to look at that. And he's just as bad at going on
you can only take
Instagram
so
or
many
anything.
paragraphs of puke emojis
But
before you're just
now-
like, I'm good on this.
But like before, when it was really negative, I would I'd be like, hey, you want me to go through your DMs? And I'm like, report, bye. Like, because their
I don't even
Instagrams would
read
get
mine.
well,
Ugh.
I'm just like, it was so bad. He would get death threats. I mean, like really
Yeah, I believe it.
brutal death threats.
You
It
will
was
find out
really
where I was
bad.
going, and they would be like, I'm gonna come meet you, and like
I'm
I would
gonna
just
like
be
it would get
Did you have
very.
stalkers outside your house at all?
There were a few at times. Yeah.
OMG, he thought he was the rock star of the group, and he was on a stage putting on a show, especially with that doll challenge. And I don't think people didn't want to do it because they weren't musically inclined, but they were more motivated for wanting to get a shield to be safe. And then the Traitors wanted to split up so that they can both be on each team to get an inside understanding of what was happening during the challenge, especially knowing who got the shield, since the other people in the castle wouldn't know who did get the shield unless they were told. But they could have also lied to them too on who had it, which we all saw how that went down. There were some positive comments regarding Tom during Traitors, but more than anything, it was people making fun of him for the way he was being, acting, performing, his crazy, obnoxious bullshit that he was saying, especially that night at the round table where he slipped and said that women are more likely to cheat than men. It just showed exactly what he was thinking about women and his thought process. But I saw more people laughing at him, memeing him, that kind of like sense of the rolling of the eyes at him because of his idiocracy, more than people actually rooting him on or feeling like he had changed and become a better person or thinking that he was, better than he was. But hey, let him think what he wants. I know what I saw. I know what you guys saw too.
Damn, it sucks.
Yeah.
But now it's it's great.
Yeah,
Like,
does it
been a
feel
lot
like
better.
life's a little bit back to normal for you?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Definitely more than a little bit. It's definitely gotten better, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everybody, who was cheering for me, rooting me on. Like, I really do appreciate that. It means a lot, especially just, yeah, it was really nice. It was unexpected.
Can we talk about your glowing skin?
My glowing skin. Oh, thank you. I actually had a CO2 peel. Dr. Lakey, shout out to Dr. Lakey.
Shout out to
I
Dr.
gotta
Lakey.
s-
I was hitting up Tom to try to consider coming back on the show, and you
I
were
just
like,
did.
"Well, I can't right now."
I literally can't. My skin's peeling off my face. But
Did you take care of him in this time?
we
of
both
need?
did it together.
You did it
didn't-
together?
It didn't
Yeah.
really do much to me because
Well, you are a bit younger, us old
Yeah.
guys.
it didn't
have,
really do
shit.
much. I was, but we looked insane. We looked so
you
crazy.
have pictures?
The first day, he wouldn't even look at me. I was like, "Babe, am I really that ugly?"
Well, yeah,
right
it's like I've
No,
seen other people do this shit online. It's
I was
freaky as
so
shit.
swollen.
Is it the same thing Tamara Judge did?
I'm not sure.
I
Is it?
think-
Yeah. Okay.
It's been confirmed.
Okay.
I saw that and I was like, "Holy shit, this is scary!" But she looked great. A
Yeah.
couple weeks later.
It's intense, but yeah, they did a great job, and it really
How
helped.
did you want to do that?
Just cause, like, I felt like it was something I could use.
You got to keep the face guard fresh.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, new beginning, moving forward to the future, shed off some of that stress drinking that I did back in the day.
just healthier lifestyle. Just like
Yeah, I'm not going to do
I'm
that
like
shit if I'm
not the drinking all the time anymore. No, like just taking care of our skin. He's been so good about working out. I'm trying.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm always on him about like drink water. It's like just being healthier in general. It's better for our minds. It's better for everything.
His glowing skin. Damn, Nick, you are paying way too close attention to that skin of his. Were you paying attention to him on Traitors when he was sweating profusively that it was seeping through his clothing? That's kind of a problem. I think he might need some Lumini or Luminosity, whatever that deodorant is called. I heard it's really good. But he maybe want to see a doctor about that because that was a little excessive. Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. But I will say, like, him getting healthy is a good thing. Personally, I have been more on a healthy kick. I'm actually drinking a strawberry banana blueberry smoothie as we speak. And I've been drinking mushroom coffee. I know that sounds gross, but it just tastes like normal coffee, but it has so many good superfoods thanks to the mushrooms. And I did post a short on my channel. It's Rise. They're really, really good. And I have felt so much better just from drinking that coffee every day. So I am also getting on my own little healthy journey, me and my boyfriend, and it's nice. We are getting older. We do need to take better care of our bodies, and I think that living here in America as well, we have a lot of processed foods that aren't good for us, and just eating healthier and maintaining it is always a good thing, especially if you want to live a healthy, good life for a long time. So I'm proud of him there. I'll give him credit.
I ran into your buddy, Tom Schwartz,
Yeah.
like in January, or like maybe it was New Year's Eve. And I was like, oh, you've seen much of Sandoval lately? And he kind of gave me the old, like, my friends in love. So I don't see much of him at all. Has the dynamic duo, is it still intact?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, he just came to Minnesota. We were in Minnesota together. Like, my band was there. He came out there. I blew the Viking horn. We had a lot of fun. It was great. No, just at the show or whatever.
Okay.
But it was really fun. But I just don't go out the way that I used to. I've become much more of a homebody and just like focused on getting stuff done, doing things, staying healthy. Yeah. I could tell you, man, like I took 8 months off drinking. It like fully.
No,
you were
nothing. Sober for 8 months.
8 months.
Wow.
I just quit and I didn't compensate with weed. It wasn't like California sober. Like I was fully, sober. And
You got some shit, as sometimes you do on Traitors, and people were bringing up like the sweating,
dude,
and
Oh my God.
accusing you
annoying.
of taking other substances.
you can
Just
ask Jax.
Put that to bed.
You can ask Jax. I don't do fucking cocaine. I've
Okay.
never done fucking cocaine. I will never do cocaine. It's not my jam. It's not what I do. I've never done that shit.
That's
I
why
don't
it's
touch
so
that
annoying.
shit.
Is because he really doesn't.
That's what's so like. If I was like a casual every once in a while user or whatever, I still wouldn't be doing it on that
But
show.
he's actually, like,
I
against
don't
it.
do fucking cocaine, so that's why it's so annoying to be accused of something like that. And I can tell
Mhm.
you, it sure as hell was hotter than it is in this room right now. In that room, and it was 23 people, all kind of stressed out, and I was wearing a very thick wool sweater, and I wasn't feeling great. And I wasn't the only one. I thought we were done like with our breakfast scene, so I'm ripping off this giant thick wool sweater immediately. Dylan did the same thing. They just cut him out. He was literally sitting in a white tank top, like just chilling. They're like, dude, you got to put your shirt back on. They told me the same thing. I was like, I'm fucking dying in here. It's so hot. Like it was really hot.
Yeah, Dylan did say it was hot too. He was like, I feel lucky that I had a white
he,
tank top.
he also was like,
There was
I'm
a-
lucky that they didn't show me either because he took his shirt
There
off.
was somebody else that pretended like it was cold.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Well, it's good to hear you cleared that up.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. I'm glad that you noticed the issue he was having there, Nick Viall. But a lot of people, yes, were saying that maybe he was coming off of some kind of substance and he was withdrawing and maybe that's what was going on. I will say I did see that. I also was someone that speculated it because I did know from just the way he was acting that there were maybe something more happening. Also, that was around the time that Billy did her podcast, and that's when Victoria then went on to a podcaster's channel with Kyle Chan, and they had that back and forth, where Billy did state that he was using substances. I don't necessarily think that she ever mentioned cocaine, but she did say he was doing other substances, which any other substance, even cocaine, can have withdrawal effects where you are sweating profusely, having those hot and cold sweats, and it happens. We don't know. We'll never know. And I guess we can only take his word for it. But personally, I just feel like there was something more, especially the way he looked. His eyes were very bug-eyed. Just the characteristics that he was doing reminded me of somebody coming off of substances. And that is why I threw that out there as well, because it did look like it. I never said he was in that state. I said it's a possibility that that's what could have been happening. And I still feel that way. I feel like there was something more. I do.
So what's the future hold for you guys?
Honestly, I don't know. I got shows coming up. I want to get my podcast going again, working on that.
There was a lot of speculation about how all that in the past affected, like, obviously your ability to earn income. You were getting a lot losing deals, and I don't even know if that happened, but like, do you feel...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you in a better situation now, and do you feel like things have taken a turn? And in addition to fans letting up and, less and less hate coming your way, do you also feel like,
Yeah.
like life's not only getting back to normal with relationships or with fans, but also your ability to do your work or make a living.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's obviously not where it used to be, but it's definitely bouncing back for sure and has gotten better. And there are things happening and I'm really excited about it. Like, it's really awesome. It feels like a gift, you know, to be able to do that again. Because when you lose something like that for so long, it's like you kind of get used to like, okay, it's never going to happen again, but it's starting to happen again and it feels really good. It feels nice to be, you know, there's other show opportunities coming up and like other things like that. It feels really good for myself because it shows that I am valuable TV. I'm valuable being on TV. I'm valuable to a show. And it felt really good to like hear that and see that with Traitors and feel that way even like with Special Forces. And I'm sure you felt that way too, because you were very valuable on that show, Special Forces as well. You did great. I mean, you won.
Thanks, buddy.
You did
Yeah, that
awesome.
was a rewarding experience, that show. I think
Yeah,
for all
and-
of us. I mean, that show is designed to be rewarding.
And now River
That looks
Rose gets to
brutal.
see you kick
Now River
ass
Rose gets
and
to-
win
yeah.
Special
She
Forces.
was
That's
just,
got to be an awesome feeling, man.
I heard her heartbeat right after we got done filming, so it was a very cool,
That's awesome,
very
man.
cool experience. You recently said that Vanderpump was toxic.
Yeah,
Okay,
of course it
do you want
was.
to elaborate?
By the way, River Rose is so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I
The name
love
or just her?
the name?
Oh, thank
I
you.
haven't.
Both.
I'm sure she's
She's a stunner,
beautiful
yeah.
too.
She looks
yeah.
like she.
But I
from when
love
saw
that
it, I feel like
name.
she kind of has your eyes.
Well, I think she has my mom or her other grandma's eyes because I have brown eyes, but she has blue eyes.
But I'm just saying the
God.
shape.
She looks like me though.
The shape.
she
I
looks
love
like
that
me.
name.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
Uh,
really cute.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys have a kid, you're welcome to use it. But I guess I don't know if you spoke elaborate on that, what you meant
Well,
by
I
that,
mean,
or if that was just a statement. But I'm
That's what was
curious.
so great about Traitors too, and Special Forces. You know,
Well, it's a different show.
yes,
obviously.
with Vanderpump Rules, of course those shows are toxic. I mean, they're rewarding bad behavior.
Sure.
You're supposed to show up. Doing your job is showing up and having the one conversation about the one thing you don't want to talk about with the one person you don't want to talk about it with. You know what I mean? The most uncomfortable, awkward, like feel nauseous in your stomach, like dry mouth conversations all the time after, you know, a couple to several drinks. You know what I mean? And maybe like a little bit of lack of sleep if we're on and at least a little bit of lack of sleep if we're on a trip. So it is. And it's nerve wracking too, because they film a scene, they film something like me going to meet up with Lala for lunch and it's shot for an hour and a half. And if we're lucky, we get 5 minutes of that. So they have all the power to show which I would see happen in Vanderpump Rules, you know, like
Sure.
if
Yeah.
I keep pushing you in the arm, pushing you in the arm, pushing you in the arm, and then you finally go, Tom, stop, like you're an asshole, stop doing that. What they'll do is they'll cut
Like a
out me
show
like
that
pushing
just-
you in the arm 5 times and just get me
Sure.
pushing you calling me an asshole, and then they create the debate. They create the debate online. Whose side you on? Are you team Nick or you team Tom? And I saw, you know, I've been on the show with other cast members who abuse that and do that. And to try to provoke
Oh,
you
you felt like
because
they kind of
because they know they're going to keep heckling you, going after you, attacking you till you finally snap. And then they don't show the heckling, like the lead up to like all the heckling and all the like badgering. And then they show you them saying it one time or something once and then you getting upset and then cut print on the, you know what I mean? Like,
I can't agree that Vanderpump was kind of a toxic situation, but what he is trying to portray as they made him look bad, a lot of the time he was made to look like the good guy. Like, even with the whole Kristen and him situation, he had cheated on Kristen. He had then got with Ariana because he had cheated on Kristen. Yes, Kristen cheated on him too, but he had made Kristen look like the bad person. They had portrayed that. They made him look like the good guy, that, oh, he cheated, but he's in love with Ariana. It's so cute. It's so humble. It's so beautiful. But Kristen's the evil, crazy bitch. They did that a lot. They took Tom's side a lot. They always made Tom to be a good guy, sweet, he's awesome, he's, you know, so cool, and he would never hurt a girl. And in the end, he repeated history and cheated on his girlfriend of 9 years with her best friend because that is who he was. He was portrayed to be this good, awesome friend, but reality was he was a complete dickhead, literally. So for him to say that, you know, other people got the better light of the situation, no. You only got that like the last 2 seasons. They made you look so good the entire time. I don't know what show you were watching. I know what show I was watching.
Speaking of toxic, one person that I've been even more critical than I ever was of you was your past castmate, James Kennedy,
yeah.
who was incredibly hard on you when Scandoval was going on. And say what you want about what you did, but like for me, what he's been accused of by multiple people, I think is unforgivable. And I think it's a certain kind of person that I really don't think you are.
Please don't compare me to James Kennedy.
No, he's saying that
Yeah,
you're
that's
not.
big.
Yeah.
I'm literally saying, for all the friends you got, person I've gotten to know,
We're completely different people.
well, despite whatever flaws you may have, I really don't think you are capable of being physical with women.
No.
And clearly, I felt like, I had gotten to know James a little bit, seemed like a nice guy, but then you kind of heard all these rumors in the past, but you don't really know. And then that stuff comes out. And I've since talked more to Kristen and Dodie, but where do you stand with him at all? And do you have any thoughts and feelings on, because quite honestly, I was very disappointed in like how Lisa has handled it and what seemingly she seems to cover for him in ways that I don't think she covered for other people. But do you have anything to say on the topic?
Yeah, especially considering James and I's past. He was getting chants going like Sandoval's a liar, and but unlike James Kennedy, I'm not going to kick him while he's down. I'm sure he's dealing with a lot. But with that being said, whether there's alcohol involved or not, there's absolutely no excuse for a man to put his hands on a woman. And also, there are a lot of previous other allegations, and where there's smoke, there's fire, and that's all I want to really say about that.
Can I ask you, why do you think Lisa has the position that she does?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. That's on her. I don't know.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for allowing me to ask that question, because I know I'm sure it's not super easy.
And I think for Jax, like I'm actually really, really proud of Jax for being sober, because that's gotta take a lot, like to own it to the world, that to admit it and everything. That's gotta take a lot of courage to even do that in the first place.
His critics, me being one of them, would say it just seems like every time there's some sort of vulnerability from Jax, it always seems to be right around when a new season of whatever the fuck's coming out, and it sometimes comes across as self-promotion.
Well, he has been sober.
Okay.
Like whether it happens to be around the beginning of the season or not,
That's fair.
He's still doing it.
You seem to, even Jax, because Jax took advantage of Scandoval to benefit himself.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm not Jax.
Okay. You still have a soft spot for Jax.
I just don't like to. I do not feel good when somebody is down or when they're like going through it, like dogpiling on them. That is not a good feeling to me. I feel like they're already getting it enough. But I'm just saying, like I'm not gonna be that person. And I don't know if it's necessarily a soft spot or what. When I see that everybody is dogpiling on somebody who's really trying to like Jax, for instance, with somebody who's really trying to do something like every day. You got to do this every day. When I stopped drinking, I smoked a lot of cigarettes and I drank all day. And to stop doing that it's like an all day, every day challenge. And you don't have anything numbing you. All you have to distract you is just trying to keep yourself busy and focused. And on top of that, your world is crumbling. So it's like Jax's world is crumbling, going through divorce, all that stuff. He's got, Cruz, and, he's been getting a lot of hate and stuff like that. And for him to be sober during this time, I sent him, the last text I sent him was like, listen, you are being very powerful right now. Do not let anybody else take your power away from you.
What do you say?
He really appreciated it, because I saw some shit came out about him, just like dogging him. And I'm like, this to me feels like something that would be like, fuck it, nobody cares. Nobody really
And
gives a
then you
shit.
would
It's all for
probably
nothing.
relapse.
I'm just going to fucking go out and get shit-faced and do some coke.
Do you think I should be open to giving him a little bit more grace?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
look, that's up to you. I
Not
mean,
bad, but I'm asking your opinion.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's one of those things where Jax famously loved to say on every reunion, he would be like, I'm working on myself. I'm a work in progress. But like, it was like, he just was saying that shit. It's
So it
like,
seemed
he had like a pull string, that you pull it and he'd say like 10 different things, what I mean? And that was one of them. But now he's actually doing it. So that's where I got to give him credit. And to me, that's evolving. And also, I think having a son and knowing, I mean, obviously you having a daughter, it's like, that you are a model for that person. You're an example of life and how to be. And I think that is really starting to like hit him.
Well, the James Kennedy thing is definitely something that is a long time coming. We did hear rumors and, people say this is what happened. Like Kristen, Rachel did come forward with saying that, she was in an abusive relationship when she was with James. And I will say that Nick is putting out an episode today, Wednesday, with Allie. So we will get to hear from Allie about what's going on. I will be covering that as well. So if you're not yet subscribed, get subscribed, because that will be the next episode you will be getting here on my channel. I think it's devastating to see the position that Lisa has taken. I also kind of feel like maybe Lisa feels close to James in the sense that he was close to Max, and she maybe kind of feels like he's a son to her in that sense, like another mother. and she's maybe trying to protect him. I do think that it's messed up that they made a bad situation kind of sweeping it under the rug and not bringing light to it, instead of bringing light to, domestic violence is not okay, and no one should be putting their hands on anybody, especially, your partner, and doing more to promote that this is not normal, this is not okay, this is what, needs to be done if this situation is happening, and not promote it, not in the sense praise it. I'm not saying that he was praised for what he did, but sweeping it under the rug and then praising him without us knowing that was what was going on is, in the sense, praising him and enabling him to continue to do what he's doing. I don't think that alcohol helps. That's just my opinion. I've seen plenty of years of James, and when he's sober, he's a lot different of a person, and when he's drinking, I think that's where the fueled rage comes out. I'm not using that as an excuse, because he should never be putting his hands on anybody. Now, with the Jax Taylor situation, I do feel like it took a lot of courage for him to come forward. I don't think he did it because he's trying to promote the new season of The Valley. I think it was his way of taking accountability for what he's done in his past. The number one step in recovery is taking accountability for your actions and making an amends with them. And that's what he was doing. And I appreciated him doing that. As a recovering addict myself, being clean for over 14 years, I do feel that it's a hard thing to say, hey, I'm a drug addict and this is what I did. This is what I've been lying about for all these years, and there was a lot of substance involved, and maybe that's why I was the way I was, and now people can understand and see it, but it takes a lot to admit that. And I give him so much credit. There are so many stereotypes when it comes to people that are addicts. And I think that this can only open the door for people to understand addiction, how not every addiction is the same, and how these stereotypes that they put on people that are addicts are not always true. And yes, there are people that, yes, abuse and take advantage and scam and scheme and rob and all of that when they're in addiction. But then there are people that don't ever do that, and that they have these stereotypes on them because of other people that have done these types of things in their addiction. And it's sad. I know for me, just coming online for the first time 4 years ago, and even saying that I was a recovering addict, took me a lot to open up and say that. But I knew that by me admitting that and being honest and open about my recovery was only going to help others, because when others talk about their recovery and their past and what they've gone through, it helps me and my recovery. So that was why I wanted to be open and honest about where I was in my recovery, knowing that I could potentially be helping somebody else that was along in their own journey of recovery. So I give Jax a lot of credit for that. And I do think that Nick should be a little bit more lenient with him, and give him a little bit more grace, because he is in a period of time where he is trying to become a better version of himself, being sober after not being sober for a very long time. I think he said almost 20 years he's been doing it on and off. And he is going through a lot. And Tom saying that he doesn't kick people when they're down, please. You might not be doing it now during this episode. Maybe you've changed a little bit. I'll give you that credit. But you have kicked so many people when they're down, and you have taken pleasure in it. And when you got kicked when you were down, yes, you didn't enjoy it. And maybe that's what opened your eyes to see not to kick other people when they're down. But you have done that out of anybody, the worst, in my opinion, that I've seen from Vanderpump. Just want to point that out, though. But I'm glad that you're not kicking other people while they're down, and you're saying the bare minimum because you don't want to hurt them. I think that shows growth with you, Tom. It does.
If it hasn't already. I don't hang out with Jax like a ton. I don't. But
Would you consider him a friend or just someone you're supporting from afar?
I consider Jax a friend. And I mean, we're not like, we don't hang out and talk every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't have like a ton of people that I do that with as it is.
But you don't have any animosity, or you're not distancing
not
yourself
this
or
week.
anything.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Fair enough. Fair enough,
No, we're cool. He's Jax. He annoys me sometimes, but I've known him for a long time, and that's that's just who he is, and that's our friendship, and that's what he stays in that place of our friendship where it's at, and it's cool. Like, but when I see somebody who's really, really actually doing something, when I see somebody go like piling on them, it's like I feel as a friend that I need to encourage him, and I will encourage him, and I will champion for him, and I will be there for him because I know what it's like. I know what it's like when people lose hope in you and like completely give up on you. Yeah,
man. I'm proud of you, man. Like, you've come a long way.
Thanks, man.
And I think
Thank
I think people are seeing, fucking the internet's everything. We're throws the words like narcissist and blah blah blah, and it's just like you're hardly perfect, that's for sure. And certainly
no,
at times can be self-centered and selfish, and so as are. But like, I hate it when people like dehumanize people for making mistakes and things like that. And I'm glad people, whether they want to like you or not, or whether they want to fuck with you or not, whether they would introduce you to your sister or not, I'm glad they can see like the human side of you, because I feel like they lost that a little bit.
Yeah,
it's nice to see.
Even my mom was like, because my mom watched.
Oh yeah, what did she?
My mom watched a show.
Vanderpump.
Yeah.
So what did you
So she told me, and she was like, no.
And what did you say to your mom?
I was like, I like give him a chance. I really like him. And
what does mom say today?
She had to meet him, and she had to like it took a minute, but now she loves him. She absolutely loves him. My dad absolutely loves him.
Really? Whose idea was it getting into couples therapy?
My mom actually suggested.
I feel like it was kind of a suggestion for all of us, but I was very adamant about it.
To say her mom.
Yes.
I try to,
because my mom does that herself.
Sometimes you come up with the same idea around whatever, but we notice some things happening, especially with her like peeling back the layers of the onion and like finding shit out. It was creating stuff and it continued to, but we had to figure out a healthy way to deal with that. And on top of that, I was like, it's so much easier to learn good habits now than to unlearn habits.
Yeah,
bad habits.
Yeah,
later.
I mean, therapy is it's better when used like a bicycle helmet rather than reconstructive surgery, I always say.
Yeah.
I can see a little bit of growth from Tom, but then I also feel like, is this just a mask that he's putting on? Because he does tend to do that. If you've watched Vanderpump, then this is what he tends to do. And situations where he looks like an asshole, and then he tries to redeem himself and puts on a mask, but then somehow does the same thing over and over and over again. Funny how she mentions here, though, that her mom watched Vanderpump, yet she claims that she never did and she had no clue who he was. This is why I didn't believe her before, because I knew what she said previously before this podcast, that she did watch Vanderpump. She knew who he was. She knew about the situation, and that she just wanted to give him a shot to see who he really was as a person. So funny how that comes out now. Just saying, this is why I didn't believe her before. And point proven. You're going to tell me that she was not going to be like, hey, Mom, I'm dating this new guy. His name is Tom. He was on a TV show. And her mom's all like, oh, my God, no. Please, girl. Please. We all know you used to watch Vanderpump. You admitted to that previously. Why are you denying that you knew anything about him now? I don't get that. But I will give Tom a little bit of credit. I do see a little bit of change in him, whether it's a mask or not. I do feel like he has changed a bit in that perspective of maybe becoming a better version of himself, because it's needed. It is. But of course, like when, Nick's talking about like, well, how'd you guys get into couples therapy? She's like, my mom suggested. And he's like, well, people could have thoughts at the same time, and it might perceive like she suggested it, but like it was really like me. That's the narcissism coming out in him, in my opinion, where we can still see similar traits of who he was still there. So things haven't fully changed. So just wanted to point that out too.
That's good.
That's a good. Yeah, I like that.
What's your favorite thing about Victoria?
Well, as gorgeous and beautiful as she is, she's so down to earth, so cool, and just so loving and so nurturing. She's really fun and spontaneous. We're really spontaneous together at times, and we push each other. We really kind of like pick up where the other one leaves off. We had the best first date
I knew
ever.
you were about to go there.
Ever.
Why?
It just
it was
like
the best first date.
it was just like, first of all, it like kind of came together like last second. It was like, wait, should we do this date? We planned on having a date, but like, let's not. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. And so,
You're pretty exhausted.
yeah. And so we, I think
And then we had it at Craig's.
yes,
Back at Craig's.
Deliberately because that's where you guys met, or that was just because
no,
No.
it just happened. We both liked the place, and we ended up getting, we ended
Espresso
up
martinis.
yeah, we had some
I'm kidding,
espresso
'cause we're tired.
martinis, and we sat down and we ordered a bunch of food. She had never had oysters before. In fact, she was like, you can order. I was like, what do you like? And she's like, anything but oysters. I was like, okay, can I get some oysters? And I ordered some oysters because I was like, how long has it been since you've had them? Like, let me like do them up for you. Like, let me add them in yet, everything. And I did. And I was like, just try it once. And she tried it. And I actually have a video of it, but her trying
you like
oysters.
I love them
Really?
now.
Now
It
they
was-
won't fuck with seafood.
he just did his little concoction or whatever, and I was like, I can't believe I'm about to try this. And then it was great. And then
We literally just had oysters yesterday.
yeah. Then we get up.
What's
You can tell
We
the
ended,
rest.
up,
You
we,
can
ended
tell
up
the
ha-
rest.
we ended up having sex in the bathroom at Craig's. It was her idea.
Sorry, Craig.
Yeah. I don't think Craig cares.
Yeah, I think he likes it actually.
Yeah.
And then we like
I think there's a lot more weird things that go on in those bathrooms.
We ended up rushing into like what
Wait,
was it, the Naughty
Naughty
Pig?
Pig. Went and just ran in there.
On
And
your
just,
first date,
Yeah, we
sex
like
in Craig's bathroom.
yes.
yeah.
And
And
then-
then
Which men's or women's?
women's.
Yeah,
And then right after that we
In the
just ran.
stall?
The
or
gender-
like,
the
like, do you have
gender
to lock
neutral- it was
the gender
the-
neutral.
the gender neutral one that's just one. Like you close it, it's just one person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's discreet.
And then we ended up running into the Naughty Pig
and then we
and
just
taking like the best Polaroids. Pretty racy. And then we ended up at what was it?
I thought that was it. Oh no,
No.
we went to Barney's. to meet
Barney's,
up
yeah,
with
we
our
went to
friend
Barney's.
Scott.
Legendary.
And then yeah. And then we ended up getting the food to go, and then we ate it like we got home.
We had a fun little ride back.
Yeah.
But we won't tell all the details.
And did the second date start the next morning?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Oh, I don't want to be this person. Girl, you had sex with him on your first date in the bathroom. Oh my God, he pulled a Jax Taylor. I don't know about that. Girl, you need to, wait a little bit. Let them not try out the goods so fast. I mean, whatever worked for you, I guess. I don't want to say that she's a slut, but like, who does, like, you don't do that. You don't do that. Don't be giving them what they are thinking that they're going to get on their first date right away. Like, you just don't do that. I don't know. When I heard that, I was just like, oh my God, are you serious? But anyways, let's keep going. We're almost done with this.
Obviously, when you met Tom, you had to hear about his past. But when you met Tom, we also had to hear a little bit about yours and some of the people you've dated in the past.
Oh,
Do
gosh.
you care? Like, do
I
you
don't-
care about that?
I
Do
mean-
you care about people talking about your past?
Are you okay? What's
Wow. You have do you have more? You have a couple. You have a couple famous boyfriends. No.
which one are you talking about?
Wait, can I get some more whiskey? Leo?
Did
Wait.
you date Leo? Is that true? Yeah, not true.
So
A little more
okay.
whiskey.
Okay.
Tom needs a drink.
No, it doesn't. I mean,
So we.
I thought you were a virgin. What?
Sorry to break it to you. So
Maybe.
him and I are still really good. We're not really good friends now. We if we see each other in passing,
You're cool.
we're cool. Yeah, I'm actually closer to Toby McGuire. It's his really good friend than
Blue?
and Blue. Yeah, they're great. I've introduced him
But
to
did
Blue
you guys
and Toby.
date, or were you just friends? That actually was
so
a thing, or
we had like a little thing or whatever. We would hang out like as friends for most of the time, and I think that just like so many girls were so like we would go out and we'd meet up, and then all girls would just like swarm him and just like stare at him, and it was just so freaky. I'm like, oh my God, like what is going on? Like, and then he I think he liked the fact that whenever I'd hang out with him, I'd just treat him like a normal person because he is a normal person, just very successful and great at his job, and and we were just, I mean, we had a little thing, but we weren't like in a relationship, but we,
Cool.
yeah.
do you have other famous exes?
There's one I'm not going to really bring up, and then the other one I don't really like right now or ever. So because he wasn't very nice, but so I won't bring him up either.
Cool.
They don't deserve that from me.
Understood. Where do you stand with the rest of your like Lala? Are you pretty much kind of that was work and you kind of moved on and it's you and Schwartz and kind of no one else, or have you?
No, I actually was talking to Sheena. I know she was when she was on The Masked Singer. We were talking about that, and I talked to Lala, a couple weeks ago or so. Checked in. I mean, obviously we're in different places in our life, and we're both homebodies in our own way. But yeah, I mean, I still talk to some people like now and again. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. Like when you're on a reality show like that for 12 years. And you're not filming, it's like you almost get used to just like cutting yourself off kind of for a little bit, like from everybody, because you really enjoy the time away. So it's like we're almost like having to like learn how to like reconnect again in a way where it's like we don't have to watch what we say. We don't have to, and which has been, I gotta say, man, obviously the way the show got canceled, or not canceled, but recasted, it sucked to find out like that and to have it happen then. But it's been really nice. Like I'm really enjoying like being in a relationship with somebody who doesn't have to go through that, where we're not getting questioned on what we had for dinner like last night, and then how many times I wiped my ass in the morning. Like it's literally like it feels so invasive, man. Yeah, and it's so nice.
Would you guys ever, if Bravo called?
Oh, they're actually calling right now. Hello, Bravo. Hey. Oh yeah, babe, you want to do it? What?
You're so funny.
She said, "You're so funny." We'll talk later. Sorry, I wasn't that good, but
yeah, we'll use that in the promo.
Ha ha, Tom, that was so funny. You are such the comedian. Oh, my God. That was cringy, actually. Even Nick at the end, as you see, he's like covering his face like, oh my God, did he really just do this? No. I don't know if Bravo would ever call him back to do another show. Maybe, you never know. You never know with Bravo, honestly, though. But I don't think that he would be good for another TV show. And, like, why would you want to after everything? Like, wouldn't you want it just to cool down? I mean, I don't know. That we're different, clearly. He would do shows where, like, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'd ever really be on a reality TV show ever. Like, that's just not who I am. That's who he is. Victoria dating some famous people, though. Interesting. Now I'm curious to know who these other two people are. I'm going to have to do some research for us, people. Clearly she has a past too. Obviously, we all have our own past. But I didn't know she dated so many famous people. You went from like an A-list celebrity like Leonardo DiCaprio to Tom Sandoval? Really? Hey, whatever floats your boat, girl. No, I'm just kidding. We love who we love. I get that. And I'm just happy that they're happy. And that's all that matters. But I'm going to have to do some research for us because I knew she dated Leonardo DiCaprio. They had like, they're on again, off again, friends with benefits, whatever you want to call it, kind of situation going on. But I don't know who the other two that she is speaking about are. If you guys know, let me know down below. But I will do some research and get back to us about that.
No, yes, you don't care, don't want to leave. Anything's possible, but no,
I like the idea of not really doing it. Does seem a bit toxic, from what I've seen. And
they don't have your relationship
earlier
in their best interest.
Yeah, what you said earlier, like they cut things in certain shows that I've noticed now that I'm watching more of like reality stuff and can make somebody look a certain way and whatever. I don't know. Well, it depends on like what kind of show it would be.
Yeah, and one thing one thing that would be different if they did do something is it wouldn't be Vanderpump Rules again. It would be I'm sure it would be coming into something sort of a different experience, because what ends up happening is like her being my girlfriend, it's like she would just be Tom's girlfriend instead of like Victoria Lee Robinson. Coming into a situation like now, or if they did something different or pivoted, she would come in on an equal playing field. Because how, I don't know if you've noticed on Vanderpump Rules, but like the new people that come in, there's a lot of like, I don't do it, but there's a lot of hazing that goes on and a lot of like ganging up on the new person.
Yeah, there's like
I've never been that way. I've always been the opposite. What would be nice is if that did happen, at least there wouldn't be that. You wouldn't be getting hazed by people the way you would have if you would have came on Vanderpump Rules. Like you would have ganged up on or felt like you didn't have a voice.
I think that would be fine. I think that would be fine.
Yeah, you'd kick some ass, actually.
As far as your guys' relationship, are you guys just taking it easy, slow? Like, do you believe in marriage?
Yeah.
Do you guys talk about that stuff yet, or is it too soon?
Yeah, we talk about it.
Okay.
We have to talk about it. Like I said earlier, it's like if we're not on the same page, I don't want to waste my time.
Okay.
talk
But that's
about
what you
kids,
guys
we
both
talk
want
about
for
We're
it.
marriage,
not
we
saying
talk
we're going to
about-
get married
No,
right
no,
now.
but
or anything.
yeah, listen,
talk
like
about
you said,
having
like you said,
sex
you're
in outer
adults. I
space.
mean, as if it is part of the plan, though.
We did talk about having sex in outer space.
Good for you.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Nobody has
I looked it up.
officially-
I looked it up, and nobody has done it yet. And so
Yeah.
I'm
You guys
like,
can have sex
we
in our
haven't- we
bathroom.
haven't-
Sex in-
Hopefully, we'll be the first ones to do it in outer space.
I mean it. I'm pretty sure if Bravo ever called him, he'd be like, "Sign me up. We're doing it." And she can say that, I really wouldn't want to do it after I've seen everything that they've done. That was her goal, just like Rachel. And look where Rachel got her. Just saying. That's my opinion. From everything that I've heard, seen, it seems like she really did want to be on Vanderpump. And I don't know if she's a little disappointed that the show got canceled or recasted, let's say that. But it does seem like she's a little bummed there. I think if they gave them the opportunity, they would totally take it. And sex in outer space, how does that conversation even come about? I'll have to try that later with my boyfriend, see how that goes. And Nick, you're giving them permission to have sex in your bathroom. I think you're going to regret that later. I don't really think you want them to have sex in your bathroom. I mean, you're not the one cleaning it up, but that's not very nice to the cleaning crew that has to clean that mess up. I'm just saying that. And like I said, I feel like you might regret that later on. Unless that's something you do with your wife. That would be cool, though. I mean, that's different. That's like your wife, and it's your studio. This is Tom Sandoval. You really want that? Why did you put these images in my head, Viall?
So what's the deal with you and Chriselle?
Well, I'll tell you a story, actually. For Valentine's Day, we went back to Craig's because it was like right after our 1-year anniversary. And we had dinner there. And it was so funny. When we were walking into Craig's, they're like asking me, like TMZ's there. And they're like, hey, so, because it's in the midst of Traitors. And they're like, so like, what's going on with you and Chriselle, blah, blah, blah. Like asking me. And I'm like, oh, we're best friends. We're like, just joking around, like going there. And then we're sitting at dinner. We end up running into Tara Reid and her boyfriend Nate. And
I
we
love
had
Tara?
Yeah, Tara. Yes. She's so sweet. She's super
so
cool.
sweet.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
you were. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
And,
was at Craig's that night too when you guys
Yeah.
met.
Yeah.
We
And
actually
Nate,
ended up to be a double date.
Yeah, we ended
Oh,
up
really?
making a double
Yeah.
date.
Great.
Her boyfriend Nate's so cool. Like,
No, she's
love
very
him.
sweet.
She's
Yeah.
a sweetheart.
Yeah.
She's super cool.
She looks great now,
Does
too,
she?
by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my
she
gosh.
does. She looks really good. Yeah. So we're there and get up. Like we're all talking. We're like, get up, use the bathroom, and I walk by the same room we were in, and I see a group of people standing up to like take a picture, and
That you guys were in.
yeah, that we were in like after Special Forces.
The private
Room,
room.
yeah, the private,
Yeah.
yeah,
the private room.
yeah.
And I lock eyes with Chriselle. She's in that room taking a picture. And I was like, holy shit, babe. Like, Chriselle's in that room. And I was like, we came back and I was like, you know what? I'm going to send them. I knew she saw me too. Like, it just happened to be one of those things I looked in and it was like, we literally looked at each other and she like looked away and I was like, oh my gosh. And,
And Tom has one drink and he's already like, woo, because we don't really drink.
and I
anymore.
was like, you know what? I'm going to send them around the shots. And so I sent them around the shots and the waiter told me, they're like, oh, are you kidding me? What? Sure. Like, I was just like, let's, you know what I mean? Let's let bygones be, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's not really any real beef between you two, is there?
no, I mean, it
I
was,
mean, I guess she's friends with your ex or whatever, and she wanted to have her back or something.
God, her story has changed quite a bit. It went from, I remember when I watched that. I mean, I got sent that part of the podcast, that clip
What part of the podcast?
of when she
When
said,
she was here.
when she was here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot what she said.
She said something along the lines of, I went up to Tom to tell him that like I followed Ariana on Instagram.
Sure.
Okay. And
Like she's a girl's girl or something.
yeah, and I'm like, when we did Special Forces, and obviously like you have a certain feeling towards me, like I get it. I fully get it. And especially back then, like I fully understand. I didn't go in Special Forces even knowing that you had said a lot of shit about me or whatever. I didn't take anything out on you. I didn't treat you anyway. And in fact, I felt like we bonded.
Yeah.
And
You definitely don't. To your credit, like you said, you don't.
I don't do that
You
shit.
don't stoop to, whether it's stooping to people's level or fighting fire with fire. You don't do that.
No, and I don't do that. I don't like to do that. I don't think it's cool. And so going into something like that, we shared a car together on the way to the castle for the first time, and Dolores was there, and I think Jeremy was in the car, and we're all just like talking and just like whatever, like. And she was like, just so you know, I follow Ariana on Instagram, and I'm like, that's totally cool. I get it. You're a girl, like she's massively successful. She's a hero now. Like, I fully understand. I also like Sierra's there. I know Sierra follows her. I know Dorinda follows her. Like everybody, Dolores, like I knew like probably if these are reality women in a castle, like on Traitors, I'm assuming that at least 50% of them probably follow my ex.
Sure.
It's no big deal. When we took our blindfolds off, you know, as a poker player, do you ever play poker? I don't play all the time, but you play. When somebody like sits up in their seat and they look down and they like have to like readjust themselves and they're like thinking about I gotta like, that's what happened when we took the blindfolds off. I clocked it. Tony right next to her clocked it. Like I asked Danielle, I said, give me 2 names. And one of them was Chriselle, even though she was a traitor. But anyways, that's all it was, is I was just trying to play the game. And when I brought that up, her reaction to me, I didn't see it at the time. I didn't see it as a possibility. I'm like, there's only 2 reasons why somebody would react this way. Because when you see traitors go after each other, you'll notice they throw more personal digs in. You know what I mean? Like if you watch like when somebody else gets accused, like who's not a traitor, they're just like, okay, I understand what you feel. I'm definitely not a traitor. I'm a faithful. This is why. They don't go, oh yeah, well your mother never loved you, or like, you know, they don't sit there and say that shit. You definitely saw Bob the drag queen and like Boston Rob doing that. You saw Carolyn and like Danielle doing that. Because they're traitors, because they're being really defensive. That's what I thought initially when she said that. I was mortified when she like brought up the whole scandal.
Oh,
and
so you're just like, yeah, you must be okay. That makes sense.
So I thought that initially, and her story changed immediately from I follow Ariana on Instagram to now changed to Ariana and I are friends. So you're personally coming after me, and she really has been trying to like sell that story, which is bullshit, and she knows it because she's changed it back to on your podcast. Like, we're not even really friends. Like, yeah, we follow each other. It's not like we talk. Like, it was annoying to see that happen. And later on, as I realized that she's not a traitor, I'm like, okay, why is she doing this? She's not doing this because she's a traitor being defensive. She's doing it to ride the coattails of this scandal, knowing that she'll have a platform of people that already hate me that will fucking get behind her. And that's exactly what happened.
Oh my God, are you kidding me, Tom? You think that she was trying to play off the scenario that she was close with Ariana to get clout off of your Scandoval that you created for yourself? I don't think that's the case at all. I think her being a fellow female and understanding the dynamic of the situation and just what you did, you have created that name for yourself. You cheated on Ariana of 9 years, your girlfriend of 9 years, with her close friend. And you hid it for over 7+ months. You hid it from the cameras. You hid it from your friends. It was a diabolical situation you created for yourself, and it was utterly trash. You were trashy for what you did. Any other person can see that. Some people, yes, will have a bias towards that, maybe like Chriselle, and they are going to take the side of the person that did nothing fucking wrong, like Ariana. You did that to yourself. By you not taking accountability and being like apologetic and sincere about it, about what you did, also created the dynamic that you had for yourself around these other women. Then you sit at a table and say, you know, women are better cheaters than men. You created that again for yourself. You do these things to yourself. I don't think that she was trying to get clout off of your name. Like, who do you think you are? You think that you're like Leonardo DiCaprio? Because you're not, Sandoval. You're not. You're not that cool. You're really not. I love Chriselle. I think she's amazing. I love Selling Sunset. And I think that she portrayed how all of us have been feeling about him for a very long time. And I appreciated everything that she had to say during Traitors regarding you. And I'm sorry if that hurt your feelings, but that's just how I feel. Thank you, Chriselle, for being a girl's girl and understanding the dynamic of what he did and how he's been, even afterwards, to not give him the benefit of the doubt that he was wanting, which was that he is not a cheater and he's not this guy, that he's not this bad guy that cheated on his girlfriend, because he was. I'm glad that he's changing and learning and growing, but you can't play it off that you have not been this sincere person that's taken accountability and you're so apologetic for what you did and you never wanted to hurt Ariana and blah, 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 because you haven't. you haven't. And we all see through your bullshit, even Chriselle.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's possible. I mean, I think Michelle's very, Michelle's no dummy.
Oh, yeah, you should have seen it too. They edited this part out. Like after she said all that stuff, like, I could see you doing this because you know what you're capable of, all this. Right after she was done saying that, she goes like this. She goes, I don't even feel safe being this, comfortable being this close to you. Like while we were sitting at the it was like a full thing. And I'm sorry, like I got to put her on blast. Like that was some fucking bullshit. And it like hurt my feelings. It hurt me. And she keeps trying to like paint this picture, which I obviously wasn't. And, and then she goes on to Watch What Happens Live and says that like I was sweating because I had lots of Coke and I had sugar running through my veins.
That's not cool. She said that?
That's
She
really.
said
She
that.
accused you of?
She literally goes,
So
She goes-
it was like a,
he had lots of Coke and there was lots of sugar running through his veins.
okay. Yeah. It's a
That's
little dirty.
not. That's not
Yeah.
nice.
It's a little dirty.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So I just wanted you to be aware of that because I saw like what she said on your podcast and I was like, what? I was
That
like,
would be,
what?
I would, if I were you, I'd be upset.
Yeah, it was frustrating to deal with. And I did not talk to that girl. She also added in nice little things like, oh, all he did was talk about himself. And I don't know if you remember me eating in the castle standing up
Oh.
all the time. I literally would eat standing up so I could go around and just like try to figure out who the traitors were. We didn't have time to talk about shit like that.
Hey, listen, reality TV, I mean, I know that happens. I know, like, in Bachelor world, it's not as toxic as Bravo world, but, like, if you're popular, people want to fuck with you, and if you're not popular, people will like to pile on because, like, it's good for their engagement,
Yeah.
It happens, sadly, but...
Yeah. I noticed that because it had been sent my way and I was just like, what is this shit? It's all good though.
Water
I
under the
mean,
bridge.
whatever. I wish her the best. Go do your own thing. But like, just fucking leave me alone. Just fucking leave me alone.
All right, well, we'll end it on that. Tom, thanks for coming back, man.
Dude,
I'm
thank you,
glad
man.
this episode went so much different in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Victoria, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you and getting
Me
to know you.
too.
And
Thank you for having me.
you guys seem like a really great couple. And
Thanks,
I'm really
man.
happy for
Thank
you
you.
guys. And
I'm so happy for you too. You
Thank
and
you.
Natalie.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, River
I wish she
Rose.
was
Like
here.
I'm so
she wishes she was here too. She's not unfortunately feeling the best, but I'm just really happy for you guys. Happy for you. I'm glad you were able to turn a corner. And like as I got to know you on Special Forces, it did, like, I know you don't believe this, but like it was frustrating to see you be. It felt like you were being resistant to just turning a fucking corner and growing from that experience. And it clearly seems like that has happened. And often is the case. Like when we meet a good woman, us men, it can really help us if we're willing to do the work. And it seems like you have. So I'm really happy for you, man.
I'm inspired.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks, baby.
All right. Well, wishing you guys the best. And maybe we'll get invited to the wedding.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right.
We want to do a little spontaneous thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, we like
you.
spontaneous.
Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Thank
we'll
you, Nick.
see you tomorrow.
So I want you guys to see the clip in question where Chriselle says that she believes Tom was sweating because maybe he was drinking too much Coke or had too much sugar in his system, that the castle was not hot, it was actually cold. Because I think you'll get a better feel of how she said it more than how he said it here on the podcast. So let's take a quick look at that before we end this podcast episode.
Michelle, Roast Reality wants to know why Sandoval was so sweaty. Was the castle cold or hot?
The castle was not cold. I think Sandoval was imbibing in, probably drinking a lot of Coke or something, and it had too much sugar in his system.
Michelle,
What do you guys think about that clip? Now, when I did see that on Watch What Happens Live, I knew what I was thinking because I had already kind of talked about this a little bit on our Traitors recap, but I wasn't seeing it as her suggesting that he was doing like cocaine. I actually took it as he was drinking a lot of Coca-Cola and having a lot of sugary things that made him very like hyperactive and sweat like that. I don't think she was trying to shade him like he thought she was trying to shade him. Now, she did shade him elsewhere on Watch What Happens Live, like purposely not including him in her Traitors cast photo that she posted on Instagram and things like that. But I don't think she was trying to insinuate he was doing something he shouldn't have here. That's just my opinion. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down below. And what do you think about this episode? I think that he did redeem himself very slightly from the last episode. I think there's a little bit of change in him. I think that, yes, maybe it helps that he's in a relationship, that he's willing to work on himself to be able to do the work. I also think that maybe after fucking up yet another relationship, he's like, I don't want to be this person, and I want to find somebody that I can be happy with for the rest of my life and enjoy that. I think he's at the point where he's getting older, and he's very aware that he does want to spend the rest of his life alone. That's just me. But I do feel like he's changed in a good way, very little bit. I still see the same Sandoval that he is. He's still Scandoval to me. And, you know, it is what it is. I enjoyed listening to this and seeing his perspective on Traitors and where he's at and all of that. It was definitely interesting for sure. I want to know, though, what you guys thought of this episode. Did you enjoy it? How did you feel about it? Do you think Tom's a changed man? Do you think he's done a 360 since the last episode like Nick Viall thinks he's done? Let me know down below in the comments. And I hope that you are subscribed to my channel, because we will be covering Allie's podcast episode with Nick Viall that came out today on Wednesday, the 9th, and I already have grabbed it for us, and I am going to be working on it ASAP so I can get it out to you guys, because I am so interested to hear what she has to say regarding everything that's happened with her and James, where she's at now, what she's doing with her life. And I know that she posted recently on IG her new apartment tour, and I'm just happy that she's doing better. She's living life. She's just started her own podcast, which I would love to cover here on my channel. So if that's something you guys want me to cover, let me know down below as well, because I definitely want to at least cover the first couple episodes, but I don't know if we can go on from there. Maybe that's something that we'll all enjoy and we'll want to continue to listen to. I'm a big astrology person too, and I know that she's going to talk a lot of astrology on her podcast, so that's something I'm totally interested in, and I want to know if you guys are going to be interested in that. So, something to look forward to, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and we will be back here again very, very soon. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys again soon. Make sure to never let anyone dull that shine, and keep shining bright, because you know what? You blind them when you shine bright. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.